Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Yesterday, respected violence against women experts and frontline agencies came to Queen's Park. They warned that arbitrarily reducing the partner assault response program from 16 weeks to 12 weeks is unethical and puts the safety of women and children at risk. In response, the Attorney General said 12 weeks is better than 0 weeks. Speaker, violence against women advocates and women who want the abuse to stop deserve an apology for these shameful and insulting comments. Will the Premier ask the Attorney General to apologize, and will her government finally listen to experts and leaders across the sector who are unanimous in calling for an immediate halt to the changes to PAR?
So, Mr. Speaker, you know, I just want to make it clear that everyone on this side of the House is very, very concerned about the services that are provided. We're concerned about the issues that lead to the need for these services, Mr. Speaker, and obviously we want to have in place services that will help people to stop these behaviours, Mr. Speaker. We want effective services and programs that will allow people, allow women to live free of violence and allow perpetrators to change their behaviours. Those are complicated but very, very important programs, Mr. Speaker. So the fact of the PAR program, we know that it has had success, Mr. Speaker, and we are looking at the evidence. We are looking at what we need to do to make sure that we continue to deliver those services in the best way possible so that these behaviours will stop, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, reducing the only government program for men who abuse without any evidence to support the change is a failure of leadership for women and children. Yesterday's comments by the Attorney General completely undermine the government's credibility on ending violence against women. If the only justification for reducing the length of the PAR program was to create additional spaces, can the Premier explain why 2,000 of the 2,200 new spaces remain unfilled? Why is she using flawed data to push through these changes and ignoring the advice of experts and her own roundtable on violence against women who are calling for meaningful consultation on a review of PAR?
Well, Mr. Speaker, first of all, the member opposite knows that there was not a cut to the funding of the PAR program. There was a change. Mr. Speaker, I'm quite happy to acknowledge that there may be a problem. I'm quite happy to acknowledge that there may need to be a change. But I am not going to engage in a discussion when the facts are not on the table. There has not been a cut. There was a reorganization of the program. And, Mr. Speaker, there is a review going on. If we need to make a change to that, if we need to change the decision, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that the right processes and the right services are in place, then we will do that. Mr. Speaker, remember, this is the government that has brought in the toughest policy on sexual assault and violence in the history of the province, Mr. Speaker. We're going to continue